Approximately 7 million people live on the Texas coast. When a hurricane threatens the state, moving that population out of harm's way can be a challenge. The Center for Transportation Research and the Texas Department of Transportation are investigating different ways to create a failsafe information transfer system.
We want to make sure that the evacuation routes are flowing as smoothly as possible. We want to make sure that if there's any accidents, that those get prioritized to try to clear off any accidents that may be blocking lanes on these critical evacuation routes. We also want to make sure that people are utilizing all these routes to their full capability. And so in the project, we used something called an analytical hierarchy process, which is a way for trying to make decisions when there's lots of these different complex factors that are there. And so we hope that this process will help TxDOT in trying to come up with evacuation management policies that take into account all of these different factors that are important.
There was some workshops and interviews and outreach, and then for the different people who are involved, the districts, they wanted to know what information was out there and whatever devices that they had already in place, and then put it together and then give different scenarios on how we could use it in an effective manner, and also to be able to push out information to the traveling public for evacuation times, and also for them to be able to come back into their various regions after the evacuations.
The main outcome of this project is a framework for TxDOT to determine what the best path forward is, to balance these different criteria, to see what the role is of new technologies, to try to identify what the critical corridors are for particular events, come up with a process and a framework that they could use to try to figure out how to manage things best, given the different needs that the agency has.
It could be a two-pronged approach. For us, we may be looking at maybe gaps in the second or tier 2 roads versus already or tier 1. We have cameras and we have DMS signs already on our major corridors, but this secondary or smaller evacuation routes, we may be looking at how do we put more cameras there.
Evacuations are often an unfamiliar and scary time, and so people don't always know the best routes for that to be taking. And so one of the key findings is that technologies can play a big role in making this process work a lot better.
For more information and to find the publication for this project, please visit the TxDOT Research Library at the link shown below.